Tonight we begin a News 12 special series, Remembering 9/11. With the 10th anniversary approaching, we're going to take a look back at the terror attacks that changed America forever. Now, you may not be aware, a hurricane was forecast for New York that fateful day, a storm that could have conceivably changed history. News 12 meteorologist Joe Rayo is here with Remembering 9/11. Joe.
Well, absolutely, Brian. You know, the weather has played a crucial role in many historical events, from D-Day to the explosion of the Space Shuttle Challenger. And tonight, in the wake of Hurricane Irene, ironically enough, how another storm may have made a difference. For on the day before 9/11, all eyes were focused on a major hurricane. From here on Chopper 12, we have access to spectacular panoramic views of the greater New York metropolitan area. And these scenes are enhanced on this particular morning by the weather. Indeed, it's the kind of day that meteorologists might categorize as severe clear. And now, still under construction, yet looming large in our view, is One World Trade Center. You know, seeing this particular edifice against these blue skies is a haunting reminder of the weather conditions on that tragic day 10 years ago. A gorgeous morning in late summer. But had the weather been just a little different, the tragic events that we now associate with the date September 11, 2001 might never have happened. The day before 9/11, over the greater New York area, skies were turbulent with extensive cloud cover accompanied by scattered showers. I remember that day very well. I was here at News 12 doing my evening weathercast and showing our viewers satellite images of a very powerful storm, a Category 3 hurricane, Hurricane Erin, which was moving on a track that would take it, perhaps the next day, right into the tri-state metropolitan area. Notice also the movement. It's moving toward the northwest, and if it were to keep on moving, it would be heading right toward Long Island and southern New England, but it's not going to do that. But then I pointed out that the cold front that was moving through our area would ultimately push Erin away from the East Coast. Will be turned around and moved to the north and northeast, out of the picture for us as this cold front comes on in and through, and for all intents and purposes, just boom, kicks Erin right on out to sea. I was actually happy to tell our viewers that we were going to dodge a major weather bullet, that the hurricane was going to veer away from the eastern seaboard, that September 11th was going to be a beautiful day, blue skies and bright sunshine. In retrospect, maybe it would have been better if we had to deal with the hurricane. The front moves through, less humid air moves in, and sunshine. You know, if that cold front had been just 24 to 36 hours slower than it was, the weather on 9/11 might have been much different than it turned out to be.
Well, there's no doubt if a hurricane had hit on 9/11, the situation would have been changed.
Bill Corbell is a broadcast meteorologist who began his career as a weather officer in the Air Force and recently retired as a lieutenant colonel. The highlight of his military career was a 2-year stint as a weather forecaster for Air Force One. Corbell, who is a private pilot, believes that if Hurricane Erin had moved into the Northeast on September 11th, it likely would have canceled numerous flights and prevented the terrorists from carrying out their plans.
The hijackers, the terrorists needed certain conditions to fulfill what they wanted to do, and the weather just would not have allowed that if a hurricane had hit New York on that date.
Ironically, the beautifully pristine weather that arrived on the morning of September 11th actually helped the terrorists.
I mean, they needed really good weather, which they got. That cold front just scoured the atmosphere clean. It was as clear as you recall and as blue as we have ever seen around here. So that allowed these modestly competent pilot terrorists to see the targets and do what they had to do.
If it had not been September 11th, it might have been some other date then that the terrorists would have chosen. But one thing that we are certain of, if Hurricane Erin had continued on its northwesterly course into the northeastern states and the tri-state metropolitan area, the tragic events that have been burned into our collective memories and associated with the date September 11th might never have happened. It would have been the storm that possibly could have changed history. Joe Rayo, News 12.
For more on the hurricane that could have changed history, just head over to IO Channel 612, News 12 Interactive, select IO Extra.